Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deborah and this is my channel, Miss Deb Deb. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the A to Z of wig making. I'm going to be showing you guys the bleaching process, plucking, styling, and construction. So keep watching if you want to learn how to create a closure wig from start to finish. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is how to bleach your closure, because you will need to bleach your closure for later on when you want to style the wig. So what you're going to do is you're going to spray some water first on the closure, and you're just going to use that to keep the flyaways at bay. This way they don't get bleached by accident. Then now I'm just going to mix my bleach powder and my peroxide, and I'm going to show you guys the wrong consistency because this is what beginners tend to do. And I'm going to start to mix that together. So as you guys can see, this mixture is too liquid. So if I was to put this on my closure and my lace, it would seep right through and drip into the hair and bleach more than just the knots. So I'm going to show you guys how this looks. Can you see? That's super wrong. So now I'm adding the rest of the powder, and you can see now I'm mixing it again, and it's going to end up being the right consistency. Guys, make sure you leave me a fat thumbs up for the extra gems that I'm dropping. So on the screen I have the perfect mixture to get you the right fluffy peroxide and bleach mixture. And an extra gem I'm dropping is that you need to mix for an extra 3 minutes to get the perfect mixture. You want it to look fluffy like whipped cream. That's when you get the perfect results when you bleach your lace. So you're going to spray your lace with Got2b to protect the hair below from the bleach. And then you're just going to leave it for 5 minutes before you start applying your bleach. Now to apply my bleach, I'm using a knife. Use an old knife from your kitchen. This is very beginner friendly, and you're going to use zero pressure. You're just going to spread it like you're going to spread butter, and you're going to spread it all over the lace. Okay? Do not apply pressure. The bleach will travel by itself to the knots, okay? Because you're going to leave it on the timer for 15 minutes and for 20 minutes. So when you leave it for 15 minutes is when you check it after 15 minutes. And then if you need an extra 5 minutes, you can check it after 5 minutes. So after 15 to 25 minutes, you're going to rinse the bleach off your closure, and you guys can see this is a perfectly beautifully bleached lace closure. As you can see, it is brilliantly bleached. I'm turning it around to show you guys, and it's starting to look like scalp. Obviously it's a bit brassy, so I'm going to add my silver shampoo. I use this one from Superdrug. It's really brilliant and does an amazing job. But guys, look at this closure. Get into it. It looks like scalp. Yes. So guys, now it's time to construct your wig. So the first thing you're going to do is pull your wig cap down to the very end of the wig head, and this is because this is how your wig would sit on your head. And also, stretching your wig cap allows you to sew without shrinking your cap. Your cap size remains the same. So now you're going to grab your measuring tape, and you're going to stick your measuring tape onto your wig cap. I'm using my chalk as well, and I'm going to start drawing each centimeter across, following the line on the measuring tape. So each centimeter I'm using, as you guys can see, I'm drawing little lines at each centimeter. This allows me to know exactly where I want to place my tracks, okay? This is very beginner friendly. It allows you to know where you want to put your tracks for your wig. So as you guys can see, once I'm done, I start to connect the lines. When constructing a wig, always start by sewing on the closure first. Now, as you guys can see, I am pulling the closure to the front and center of the wig cap, and I'm making sure it's as flat as possible. I'm watching it and I'm dragging it down, making sure it's flat and placing it exactly on the line at the front. And you guys can see I'm doing it a few times to make sure that it's correct, and then I am using my bobby pins to stick it right in place. And then I am pulling it to the back as well, making sure it's fully flat before I place my pins. So this way when I sew, I'm sewing it correctly and there's not going to be any bumps or any lumps. So after applying your lace frontal to your wig, you can draw the rest of your lines. So let's grab our hair and start constructing. So this is Honey London Hair. Check out honeylondonhair.com and Honey London Hair on Instagram. We take orders and we ship worldwide. You can order this wig as well. Honey London Hair is from the remote mountains and regions of Vietnam. It's pure luxury, 100% unprocessed human hair. It comes smelling like free and natural without chemicals. So guys, watch how I am sewing this and I'm doing a lock stitch. So when you do a lock stitch, you go under and attach and then you put the it's like a loop, guys. Watch my hands. I'm looping. Watch how I sew, guys. I'm looping, loop to the loop. So the needle goes under and then see I'm putting the needle inside and then I'm tying it each time. And this is the final result. This helps your sewing and your wig last for many, 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 many years without coming apart or the thread cutting or anything. So let's get into the tracks. So the first thing we're going to do to hide our tracks in case the wind blows is we're going to stitch from the edge of the closure on one side to the edge on the other side. So I'm going to show you the other side. So we're going to stitch all the way around like a big U shape, and when the wind blows, what that does is that stops people from seeing your tracks. You don't want your tracks in the mud. So as you can see, I'm using the same lock stitch method, sewing through, putting my thread over the needle and then closing the stitch, okay? So that is the most secure way to make a wig, especially if you're a beginner. This will stop your wigs from coming apart and it will make your stitches last for 5, 6, 7 years. They will not come loose. And if they're to come loose, it will take a lot of effort for them to come loose. So I'm just going to do this all the way around. For the sew around, keep your stitching very, very tight because this is the most important stitch. Because now everything else you're doing is just going to be following the lines. Okay? So now I'm going to be showing you guys how to close a stitch. So guys, watch me put the loop, put your thumb on it and then close the stitch. Again, thumb on, close the stitch. This is how you close a stitch. This will give you an indestructible stitch. Do this 1, 2, 3 times, and then cut your thread. Anytime you start a new track, you sew through the weft, okay? This allows the weft to stick directly to the wig cap. You're not sewing through the middle of the hair like when you're in the middle of sewing, but when you're starting a new track, you sew directly through the weft at the top. The weft is the line that holds the hairs together, okay? So if you watch my hand there, now I'm sewing normal. But the very first stitch, I sewed through the weft. So now I've showed you guys how to lock a stitch and cut your thread. I've showed you guys how to start sewing a brand new weft onto a wig. So now I'm going to show you guys how to skip to the next line. So as you guys can see, I'm traveling up at the side and I'm bringing it up until I reach the next line. And then once I reach the next line, I'm going to use my bobby pin and I'm going to take it across. See, I'm almost there. And now I'm going to take it across. Deborah, take it across now. So when I get to the edge, I take it across and I use my bobby pin and then I keep sewing. And then you can do that all the way until you get to the top, okay? So at the bottom of your wig, you're going to use single wefts because you don't want your wig to be too heavy at the bottom. At the middle of your wig that I'm pointing to right now, you're going to use double wefts, and you're going to sew in double wefts, okay? And then at the top of your wig, you're going to sew in single wefts once again, simply because you want your wig to be flat, okay? So right now I'm in the middle and I'm using double wefts as you guys can see, and I'm just going to keep sewing with double wefts until I get to the top, and then I'm using single wefts once again, following the same methods that I've showed you guys. See guys, start at the wefts, you sew through the wefts. Then after you secure the wig at the start by sewing through the wefts, then you sew as normal through the bundle. Tight to the top through the bundle. So you guys see I'm going through the wefts because I want to secure it to the wig. Then after that, I sew as normal again, and this time because I'm at the top of my wig head now, I'm using single wefts because I want my wig to lay super flat. You do not want your wig to be too bumpy at the top. That is not it, sis, okay? So you're just gonna keep it nice and flat at the top by using only single wefts. So once again, I'm showing you guys how to close a weft, thumb on, pull, around, thumb on, pull. And I think I do it one more time just for security. Around, thumbs on the thread, and you pull. And we are done with construction. This is what our wig currently looks like. Absolutely stunning. And now it's time for styling. For styling, I'm going to be using this spray by Cream of Nature. I absolutely love this spray. I got it on sale. And I'm using my Remington wide plate straighteners to straighten the wig. And I'm using my hot comb to press my wig down flat at the top. So guys, it's time for us to pluck our closure. So when it comes to plucking, I can do a more detailed tutorial on plucking, but today I'm just going to be doing a very light kind of quick tutorial on plucking for you guys. So you just demarcate your hair and just pluck straight down randomly. So you're going to do that in both directions. So you guys can see here, I keep doing that and I go all the way about maybe 2 centimeters back, and I just pluck randomly and I make sure that it's looking as natural as possible. You need to do this very, very lightly because your tweezers can rip your lace. This has happened to me many times over the years. Not so much anymore, but it has definitely happened to me. And then I'm plucking down the center of my wig head as well. And I'm making sure that I give myself a very natural closure, and this is what you want to achieve when you pluck, okay? You don't need to over pluck your closure because it's trendy on Instagram. Because in real life, you want your wig to last you many years. So you can pluck it more as time goes on. But if you want to have that Instagram look, then you can do the Instagram style plucking, which is severely over plucking. Both styles are fine. You just do what you feel is right for you, okay? But I always say when your wig is brand new, there is absolutely no need to over pluck it, especially if you're a beginner. Just light pluckings is all you need to do. Plucking a lace closure should take you about 30 minutes in total. Okay, 15 minutes on each side as you should be plucking very, very carefully. Once done, I'm using my hair wax and my hot comb just to give my wig a natural and melted kind of style and vibe. So now it's time for us to turn the wig inside out. I'm going to be showing you guys my stitching. Guys, this is how your stitching should look, somewhat very neat and tidy, okay? This will last you many, 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 many years when done correctly. So now I'm going to cut the underlay so that way when you put the wig on, it has a very natural look. So now it's time to measure your band, and I use 10.5 inches because I like comfort, but it's up to you. And then you're going to place your band exactly like this, and you're going to stitch onto each side. You're going to start the way I showed you, and you're going to close your stitches the exact same way I showed you guys to close your stitches. This doesn't have to be perfect because remember, it's the inside of the wig, but you can make it look as nice as possible if you are a beginner. So to tint your wig, I'm using this tinting spray. I bought it from a brand on Instagram and I'm using the shade Caramel. It's linked in the description bar below. Check that out. And you can use as many layers as you want. Measuring it to your arm is a great way to know if it matches your skin tone or not. And when you were finished, this is how our wig looks. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video in any way, shape, or form, make sure you thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one, okay? Mwah, 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 mwah.